Most people think the spotted moray eel is the rarest ocean animal, like my buddy Wade, that brags about having seen it all the time.
I can't believe you've never seen that. It was the coolest thing ever, bro.
But there's actually way more rare ocean animals, and some of these rare animals most people don't even know exist. And I'm gonna catch every single one of them, because I can't let my buddy Wade see a rarer fish than me. So I guess I'll start by catching a mangrove snapper. Literally only 20% of water on Earth has them.
That's how rare it is.
To get it, someone needs to dive into an ocean infested with sharks, and when you finally see one, you need to hit a perfect 360 no-scope that has a 1 in 5 billion on trillion. I don't know, but it's super rare. Before we get in the water, I'm going to need some tools to help me. So here's what I'm bringing.
Wetsuit, gloves, mask, dive knife, weight belt, fins, and my weapon of choice, my bow and arrow.
And now it's time for Wade's gear.
I've got my mask, I got my big knife, my weight belt with a belt reel on it. I've got the cannon right here, big spear gun, and I've got my dive fins right here.
With all our gear ready, we began hunting our first rare fish, but along the way, we ran into something you don't see every day that tastes delicious. The first thing I do when I see a lobster in the hole is usually just check out the area, because if there's one, there's almost always gonna be more, and right in front of us, we've got a pretty big one, but under the rock, we've also got a couple really massive guys. If I were to just reach my hand in there randomly, it actually would be counterproductive, because they are so shifty that they could wind up going back into a rock where you can't reach. So rather than me just like try to rush in, I'd rather do a lot of recon and figure out exactly where the holes are on the rocks. Here I reach in and I actually see a couple of antennas, and I pull out the smallest lobster in existence. It's almost funny. This guy is obviously way too small to be legal. I'm sure he's delicious, but we're gonna have to give him more time to actually grow. Right next to him was a hole with another guy. It looks like he doesn't really have anywhere to go, so I'm really just trying to time him, and when I finally decide that I'm gonna strike, he just completely dips out on me, and he's just running for his absolute life. The cool part about these is that they eventually wind up coming to a rock where they can't continue to back up. That's usually the best way to catch them, but sometimes they go right into a hole where you can't really do anything. Sometimes lobsters will drop their legs whenever they're stressed out, and you can see all of his legs just sinking to the bottom, and I also figured he was too small that I wouldn't be able to eat him. But the legs coming off is actually a good thing, because it's going to attract fish into the area that I'm looking to eat. This juvenile Goliath grouper is a perfect example. He's just chilling in the rocks, eating all of the fish that swim by, eating the little pieces of lobster that fall off. Unfortunately, these guys are protected, so I'm not able to shoot it, but it really is beautiful, and they could get as big as a small car. When I was done playing with the fish, I looked up and saw that Wade was shoulder deep in a hole, and his big problem is that he's actually way too big. He's too large to actually fit in most of these holes, which is kind of where I have an advantage. My hands are a little bit smaller, and I could just kind of reach in. Here you see like a bunch of lobsters piled up. It's basically easy money for me. They really don't have anywhere they could go, and I was able to rip one out that was a pretty good size. Before I even had the chance to go back to the boat, I see a lobster out in the open, and I was figuring I was just gonna grab him, and that's almost impossible. It never winds up working like that, and he wound up backing into an absolute honey hole with just so many more lobsters. What a lot of people don't know is that these are Florida spiny lobsters, and for that reason, they don't have claws, but they have spikes all over their bodies, specifically their antennas. That's what they're gonna be using to defend themselves. As you're trying to grab them, they're gonna try to whack you, and that's why it's so important that you have gloves. If you don't, and you're going lobstering, your hands are gonna get all cut up. It's gonna actually be really painful. The scariest part about catching lobsters is that there are giant moray eels all throughout these rocks, and it's very easy for them to come and bite you because they're also eating the lobsters on occasion. I was chasing this guy, and I thought that this was a moray eel head, but then when I grabbed it, it wound up being a tiny nurse shark. You're actually allowed to eat the nurse sharks. They have to be 54 inches and caught on a hook in a line. This guy was a little bit less than 54 inches. I really just wanted to show him this guy for the first time in his life, and then we wound up letting him go. This last lobster was the one that really did it for me, though, because as I was going for him, he kind of just got into a really good stride of swimming away from me, and people think it's so interesting how these guys can kind of just do little bursts of energy like that until really forever. That's how they swim. He thought he was camouflage in this patch of grass, and then he like came right into my hands. Now that we've got our lobster for the day, it's time to catch a mangrove snapper, which is the least rare fish we're gonna catch because we're going all the way up to 0.1% catch rate. At first, Wade and I were really trying to stick together because we're in a pretty sharky area, and it's just safe in case a 12-foot bull shark comes out of nowhere, but before we knew it, we wound up getting separated, and I was on my own. Eventually, I wound up being led to this pretty big porcupine fish, and these guys have a funny behavior. They'll often go take shelter in the rocks, but they're not very fast, and in this instance, kind of just cornered himself and made it so that I was able to grab him pretty easily. Porcupine fish have spikes all over their bodies, and they start puffing up really, really big. A lot of people confuse these guys with pufferfish, but it's actually an entirely different species. Pufferfish oftentimes are poisonous, and if you eat them, you'll wind wind up dying. Porcupine fish, on the other hand, their main defense mechanism is their spikes, and while it does kind of hurt to hold them because they're so spiky, it doesn't hurt too bad if you have gloves. I wound up letting this guy go, and he went back to his rock. After a bunch of swimming around, I was finally able to locate the mangrove snapper, and lucky to say, I got a really good holding shot on this one. I shot him right through the middle of his body.
This is a good one.
Shoot that all day.
After handing the fish back to the boat captain, I went back to the same area but lost the original spot I was on, and I was confronted by this giant school of jack. It was honestly kind of a mix. It was like amberjacks, and there were also, this is a school of grunt right in front of me, and there are a couple mangrove snappers, but they're pretty small. Mangrove snappers have to be at least 9 inches for you to kill and eat them, so none of these guys really qualify. But eventually I wound up finding the exact same spot that I was in the first place, where all of these giant mangroves were just kind of huddled up. What I'm using here is technically called a Hawaiian sling, but it's really just like a bow and arrow that's underwater, and I'm taking pretty long shots on this fish. The important thing to note is that there's not a string attached to the arrow, so after I hit something, it's really important that I go and recover it, otherwise it could get off the arrow and swim away. This is actually a perfect example of it. There was a fish that was pretty far away from me, and I did hit it. I critically injured it, but it wound up getting off the end of my arrow, and I had to recover it with my hand. Whenever you're hunting fish, you want to be at the same level of them because you want more surface area to hit. So if I were above these fish trying to shoot at them, the target would be significantly smaller. That's why you see me going to the bottom here and making sure I'm lining up with the wide side of their body. It makes it so much easier to hit, and this was just like a complete bullseye. I hit that one between his eyes. This last fish was an absolute treat. This is called a sheep's head, and they're actually very unique. One of the best tasting fish in the world. They've got stripes on them from head to tail, and when you're looking at it glistening in the sun, you realize the variety in these areas is just absolutely unmatched. Like, there are so many good eating fish right here. Comparatively speaking though, these fish are easy because the next one is less than a 35% catch rate. We're not just catching these fish for fun though. We're cooking them all over an open fire that we built from scratch and putting them on a tier ranking list. For this one, we smoked it until it got a thick black char.
So hungry I could eat a freaking horse. I'm gonna just get after it. Wow.
With me enjoying it so much, Wade wanted a bite.
Bro, give me a shot. Right, what the hell?
Bro, you didn't grab it. What do you want me to do here?
Bro, you literally let go of it before I even
Oh my god.
Let me grab some of this. Pretty good.
Very hydrating.
Hydrating? I've never heard someone say that about me.
Yeah.
Needless to say, this smoked mangrove is amazing, earning it a B on our tier ranking list. Now that our bellies are full, we're heading to our next hunt. There's just one catch about it. This next animal that we're hunting is by far the most dangerous because it's a moray eel. They're known to get up to 8 to 10 feet long, have 2 sets of jaws, and most importantly, they attack divers completely unprovoked, so they're pretty scary. I took a shot at this little fish, and I actually hit the fish, but the arrow was too heavy, so it just went right through him, and as I was looking down to where my arrow went, it must have made some vibrations in the ocean because it wound up attracting a shark. The good news is that this is a nurse shark. It's probably the least dangerous of all of them, even though they can attack you. It's very, very rare. They really don't. They're kind of like the chillest shark in the ocean. I like to always compare them to puppy dogs. I started following it, and he started just going along this trench. For the most part, these sharks eat crustaceans. They will eat fish, like anything they could get their hands on, but for the most part, their diet is like lobsters and crabs. That said, the eels live right next to the lobsters and crabs, so I was pretty confident that this guy could lead me to something. After following the shark for like 5 minutes, Wade and I went to the bottom of the ocean because we felt like in the area, this was a good environment for an eel to be, and that's when out of the corner of my eye, I finally saw something that looks like it was going to be promising. And little did I know, it definitely was. This is a moray eel, and oh my god, he's so scary. Just looking at him is terrifying. He's actually a pretty big one, and he's hiding under this rock. If I had to guess, I would say he's probably about 7 feet long.
But before I catch this eel, I have got to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Fishing Clash. And as a guy who catches fish for a living, I have strong opinions. I've caught fish with my bare hands, in the rain, and just about any way you can imagine. But this game lets me catch a 400-pound marlin from my couch, and honestly, I get the same rush. But here's the part that got me. Oh, real! This thing is huge! That boat is sick! I've unlocked like 6 of these spots, and apparently there's 50. And then it got personal. Joel773, if you're watching this, I will find you in the arena for revenge. It's clan vs clan, real time, and I have never wanted to destroy strangers more peacefully in my life. Jump in and fish with me. You can click the link in the description or scan this QR code, punch in the code NickKratka, and you get a $20 starter boost completely free. Then drop your biggest catch in the comments because I will be checking.
Fishing Clash.
Clash. Download it now for an amazing time.
Link and code in the description. Free $20 boost. Go, go, go! Well, this was fun, but now I've got to go back to catching fish the hard way.
The scariest thing that could happen right now is that he absolutely rushes me, but he's feeling pretty territorial. He's really not coming out of his rock. One bite and he could literally, he could kill me, this eel. I want to make sure that I have a good shot at him and that there isn't some hole that I'm not aware of that he could escape from. After looking at him for a good bit, I decide to go back up to the top of the water, take a deep breath, and then come back down for what I'm expecting to be an execution of him. I line up my shot and finally I decide that I'm going to take it and I hit him. He starts freaking the hell out. That's what all this sand is. It's him like squirming and worming around. And I can't elaborate enough. This eel was so freaking strong. Like, I was trying to pull him out. I had my hand on the rock. I was trying to swim up with all my might. And rather than the eel coming up, the arrow just popped out of him. And I was like, oh my God, no. The good news is that when they're hurt, they usually don't run and they'll stay in their little rock structure. So I went back down and had the arrow in hand. And here's my buddy. He's just putting a flashlight in there so I could see him pretty well. I take another shot and I hit the eel again, but it was kind of the same. I was pretty sure he was wrapping his tail around a column in that rock. He just wasn't leverageable. Like, no matter what I did, I wasn't able to pull him out. And because of that, Wade had some things to say to me back on the boat.
Bro, what happened down there? You just blow that eel or what?
Let me tell you, that eel was bigger than you, bro. If you were in the water, he would have taken a bite out of you. I would have liked to see you even try to get something like that.
We need to give the eel an F on our tier ranking list since we couldn't catch it. And for our next fish, we can't kill it because it's protected. So the mission is to take a selfie with it, and that way we have proof that we saw our 25% fish. There's just one catch about this next spot, and I'm going to let our boat captain Dylan explain it.
Dylan, what's the best way to find one of these guys?
So we got two options for that. We're either going to try the reef, which would be a little bit more sketchy,
How sketchy are we talking right now?
like 1 to 10, about a 9.
What's over there that's so sketchy?
Maybe a shark or so here.
What is the other option?
Other option, we got a cool wreck that we can go dive, a little bit more laid back.
Damn, man, I don't really want to go anywhere too dangerous.
Bro, we gotta go to the sketchy part. Let's go find ourselves some sharks.
Bro, I swear every time Wade is just like, let's do the more dangerous option.
We'll be fine.
If you guys don't know, in Australia, which is where Wade is from, sharks are literally everywhere all the time. Like, how often do you see a shark when you're on a dive?
Every dive.
All right, bro, if a big shark comes, you're gonna be protecting me, all right? This might be the last time you guys ever see me with all my limbs. Please subscribe. I really don't want to die before I hit 10 million followers.
Getting into the water right now feels a lot like signing a death wish, because anytime you know there are bigger predators in the area than you, one could take you out without you even realizing it's next to you. And I would say that feeling is pretty valid, because right when I got in, I found an 8-foot lemon shark. These guys can get way bigger. I'm actually lucky that this one is only 8 feet, and you could tell by his demeanor he's not really super frustrated or actively hunting. If he were swimming fast and his fins were angled down, that would mean he is in hunt mode, but he wasn't, which kind of made me feel a little bit more safe. And then I was surrounded by a school of jack, which I thought was going to be the end of me finding predators, until I ran into another shark, except this one was a little tiny reef shark, which is good and bad news. The good news is that he's probably not going to be able to eat me in one chomp. He's only like 4 feet long. But the bad news is that these little guys are actually more aggressive than the big sharks because they don't have as much experience. Anyways, I didn't want to pay too much attention to that because I was right around this shipwreck, and traditionally shipwrecks will house massive sharks, like up to 13 to 15 foot bull sharks. They even get up to 18 feet. So I really got to make sure I'm staying on my toes. Like, there's no lacking, and if I do lack, I'm gonna get eaten, literally. Another thing that I really have to pay attention to is shallow water blackout, because you have to remember, we're not wearing oxygen tanks or anything like that. So if we're underwater for too long, we come up, get some oxygen, and then we take a dive without resting on top for a while. Our bodies will feel like it has enough oxygen to stay conscious, but then when you're underwater, you'll just completely black out. So it's really important that I'm timing my dives accurately to make sure that I don't accidentally like pass out underwater. This particular shipwreck is an oil tanker, and it was sunk in the 1900s, and you can see that there are a bunch of little cracks and crevices all throughout it, and in those cracks are usually some really nice fish that you're able to shoot and eat. My game plan right now is kind of to just map out this entire place. I'm seeing a lot of different fish. Some of them I could eat, some of them are trash fish, but more than anything, I'm looking for a parrotfish. Parrotfish are completely protected, and the reason why is because they're so good for the ecosystem. They actively are pooping sand. So all the sand that you see in the world comes from a parrotfish at one point. Super cool fact. After searching the wreck for a while, I get to the edge of it, and I wind up finding a pretty nice sized yellowtail, and I line up on him pretty good. I take the shot, and I hit him perfectly. So I really wanted to secure him, because the more that he's struggling like this, the more sharks in the area are going to feel the vibrations and they're going to come to check out what's making those vibrations. I was able to get him, and at this point, I'm just looking around to make sure nothing is coming to eat me. And I was very happy to say that the fish was secure in this instance. This might be one of the best eating fish in the world. It's extremely mild, but we didn't have time to go and reminisce on that because we really just had to find our parrotfish. It's a lot easier said than done though, because this particular shipwreck is more than 3 football fields long. It was an old oil tanker, and it's not like it just goes down there and gets wasted forever. All of these animals and corals are now able to make their own ecosystem on it. Right here, I shot a mangrove snapper, super good eating fish, and I was able to secure him really fast, so no sharks in the area were coming. Thank goodness, at least none that I can see. I actually shot him in the eye, so I was very proud of this shot. The total depth from the top of the water to the bottom of the shipwreck is about 40 feet, and what I'm doing is kind of just going up and down, making sure I get every crack and crevice looked at so that I'm not missing any edible fish or parrotfish. This circular structure that you're seeing in front of me is the engine of the wreck. I take a shot at a mangrove, and I go to chase the arrow, except I was at the end of my breath, so I had to go back up. And when I came back down, the current was so strong that it moved me, and I wasn't able to find my arrow. Those arrows are like $100. Just from missing that shot, I lost like $100 almost instantly. While I was looking for it, the urge to squeeze through all of these little cracks kind of got the best of me, and I wound up going pretty deep in there. And this little tiny crack, for some reason I thought I could squeeze through it. I put my head out and I got stuck inside of it. Thank goodness I was able to get back out the other way, because if I wasn't, I would just be drowned. And I mean, at the end of the day, no part of this shipwreck is above water. I would have just died there. As old and rustic every piece of metal looks around us, I was swimming on the edge of the wreck, and I wound up finding an iPhone. But not just like any iPhone. This thing looks literally brand new.
Yo, guys, look at what I just found. It's like brand new condition.
New iPhone for Wade?
Wade isn't exaggerating at all. This iPhone is literally brand new. It might not even be a couple days old.
Where was it?
It was just in the sand. Oh, it turned on! Yo, look, we just got a text. Yeah, I'm sure whoever lost this is pretty freaking bummed right now. We'll get it out of the ocean. It's not good to litter.
Getting back in the water was bittersweet because I still hadn't found my parrotfish, but right when I got in, I found a hogfish. Rated the best fish to eat in the ocean, actually. They are absolutely delicious, and on top of that, they're really, really dumb. You can see this guy is not really swimming very fast away from me. His leisurely swim eventually wound up leading me to a trumpet fish, which is also a very interesting species. They kind of have like stick figure bodies, and sometimes they'll even just go upright in the ocean. Super cool to see these guys. They're usually traveling in packs. The reason they're so important is because they led me to my first parrotfish, and I was so stoked because he wasn't alone. He had a colony of parrotfish following him. I was freaking out. We finally made it. What we have to do right now is take a selfie with one of these guys. And at this moment, Wade was not right next to me, so I had to go find him. So I just kept going to the top, calling for Wade, and then I would go back down and stalk this school as if I were like a shark or something. And finally, I found one that was honestly like the size of a car. Thing was so big, but he wasn't really letting me get very close to him. Anytime I tried, he would just kind of dart off. It's crazy to see the different color patterns that they're able to get. It really is a very beautiful fish. Finally, Wade was right next to me, and it was time to get our selfie. Except the thing about him is that he's so big in the water that fish are scared of him. Everything is actively running from us. And after about an hour of trying, we both just took a dive down, turned around, and then right here, 3, 2, bingo. We got our shot.
Bro, that was sick down there, bro.
Trying to take a selfie with a fish is crazy. Like, obviously you and me, we're talking down there, we're coordinating. These fish have no idea that we're taking the best picture of all time with them. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, it literally doesn't get better of a picture than that.
I don't know about that.
Since my plan worked out perfectly, even though I didn't get to taste the parrotfish, I'm giving it an A on our tier ranking list.
The next one, we're not being so friendly with, okay?
What does that mean?
For our next rare fish, we're gonna be catching one of the most dangerous ones in the ocean. It's extremely fast, has sharp teeth, and is not afraid of anything. The greater barracuda. I really don't like them, so it's kind of time to get payback right now.
For this fish, it's one of the fastest in the ocean, and that's why we use a flasher. When you throw it, it winds up bringing in all the predatory fish in the area, and specifically barracuda are very attracted to shiny things. The flasher will sink all the way to the bottom of the ocean, and eventually it always winds up bringing in a giant barracuda. All around us are little fish called chubs, and ideally, honestly, these are completely trash fish, not very good eating, but if you shoot one and then chum it, it does bring in other predators. So that's what I'm doing here. You see how it's making a bunch of vibrations on this rock? That's a really good thing. All of the fish in the area can sense that. And right here, there's a little grunt that I'm lining up on, and right before I take the shot, a different, bigger grunt comes in front of it and takes the shot for him. So ultimately, I'm just like collecting these small fish so that I could tear them up and bring in a barracuda. Before you know it, it wound up working, and I got a pretty good size one. And right when I go all the way down to the bottom, I line up on him, take a good shot, and hit him. But he was so strong that my arrow couldn't stop him. My arrow wasn't heavy enough, and he just swam off with it. Another $100 down the drain because I wasn't able to secure him or my arrow. It's gone now. Because the arrows are so expensive, I took a little bit of time to look for it, but in all honesty, it was pretty pointless. Those things are so fast that I was never going to see it again. The good news is that our boat captain already had a plan B in place.
Dylan got a CUDA. Oh, it's running. Bro, this thing's freaking huge, bro. Get him in. Get him in. Get him in, Dill.
If I can get up.
Nice, bro. Nice. That's a nice one, dude. Oh, let's go, Dill. Let's freaking go. This thing is so freaking insane looking. Something really cool about these fish, they are so fast in the ocean that as you're catching them, sometimes they'll actually cook their own meat just from how fast they're going. If you want to eat a barracuda or like a lot of mackerel species, you're gonna have to secure it and get it on ice ASAP, which we did pretty good. Dylan did a great job catching this guy. You're not really supposed to eat them. They're pretty disgusting, for lack of a better words.
In Australia, we wouldn't even touch these things with a 10-foot pole, brother.
I'll go in first.
You eating a CUDA like that's crazy, bro.
It's pretty fire.
I'm gonna hold out in the raw CUDA.
Bro, what the are you talking about? You gotta eat something.
Bro, I got something for you. I snapped off a little bit of CUDA, cooked it a little bit more, and I've got myself my signature coconut CUDA that's actually cooked and not raw.
Wade's coconut CUDA is something he's particularly proud of. A piece of smoked fish eaten with a bite of sweet fruit. It's definitely creative, but is it actually tasty?
Man, this thing's gonna go off. Let's give it a shot. That is good. A little bit of sweetness from the coconut, smoky flavor. Give that a shot.
Wow. The coconut adds like a nice crunch and texture to it, and also like a good bit of sweetness. Like as you bite into it, the juices kind of come out.
That is how it's meant to taste.
It's still a barracuda. What are you sucking on, bro?
What is that? This is a fish bone. Use it as a toothpick, bro.
Let's catch our next rare fish.
All right, let's go.
The coconut added just enough sweetness to get this rating up to a B tier. But our next fish is the rarest one to catch yet. So I'm wearing a military grade camouflage wetsuit to make sure he never sees me coming.
All right, I'm officially in the camo wetsuit. This is the first time Wade is seeing it. Bro, what do you think?
Bro, this is outrageous, honestly.
Do you think it's gonna help me?
No, bro.
Say what you want about this suit. I am 100% confident it's gonna help us catch fish right now. While you're out there swimming, scaring everything, I'm gonna be completely blending into my surroundings.
I don't know about that, but yeah, good luck.
Whether Wade believed in the wetsuit or not, it's time to get in the water and put it to the test. Getting in the water had me feeling as ridiculous as I looked because even though it was a perfect camouflage, it is entirely uncomfortable, which is like probably the most important thing when you're diving. Naturally, we're supposed to be on land as human beings, so anytime you're in the water, you're putting yourself in a completely different environment. And when you add another variable like a suit made of construction paper, might as well be, it just gets a little ridiculous. And to add to all the fun, there was a nice sized lemon shark that was actually pretty fired up. He must have been about 7 feet right below me. I can tell he's fired up because he's swimming pretty fast and circling me. He's not really just going in one direction. And at this point, I just want to show him who's boss. So I swam down to him. I never want to run from a shark when I see it. That's going to put him in predator mode and put me in prey mode. My original plan was to go to the bottom and try finding this elusive fish all on my own. But every time I went down, the buoyancy of my suit was so great that it would just shoot me right back up to the top. So that's when I handed the camera to Wade and I was like, hey man, go to the very bottom and I'm gonna meet you down there. And that actually worked. I was able to get down there and I was kind of just holding on to him, but without being able to move myself, I was in a super dangerous situation. And you guys know how important safety is. Safety always comes before everything. So we had to re-strategize.
Bro, I'm literally drowning in this suit. This is so comfortable. This is like, I got this like a year ago, and it shrunk it in there. Bro, I need to hold on to you.
Bro, you might be camouflaged, but you're not even moving, bro.
Hey, when you're in the water, you need to be comfortable. Bro, I'm getting back on the boat, bro.
My mobility was so terrible that I had to get towed back to the boat by a safety diver. So that's what this guy's hand is. He's literally just pulling me back. At this point, we're looking through Wade's GoPro because I had to rest up top, and he's lining up on a really nice mutton snapper. He actually hit it perfectly. It's a great holding shot, but that shark was still in the area, so he had to get this thing up in his hands ASAP. Lucky for Wade, since he lives in Australia, he's used to dealing with sharks.
Boys, I just struck mutton snapper, first one ever, so profit on that. Cheers, big dog.
The shark came right up close to him, and he really wasn't afraid. He actually just scared it off because he pointed his spear at him, and he was loading up to find that cubera. In order to do that, he went down to about 60 feet in depth, and two pretty nice sized jacks came up. These are really good eating fish, but when he went to go take a shot, he realized that the safety on his spear gun was on, and by the time he switched it off, those fish were gone. He returns back to the top, and he's kind of just assessing his environment. We're in a really good visibility area, which is always huge for safety. He's able to see his surroundings and see if there's a big shark coming for him. He sees a pretty big shadow from the top, and when he originally goes down, it's looking like it could be a cubera, but then when he gets closer, it winds up being a red grouper, which is out of season, meaning it's illegal to shoot right now. And then that other fish next to him was another species of jack. Funny enough, the jack were really in today because here's a giant school of them. He lines up and actually hits the biggest one in the school, but not only that, he hit a little chub that was in between, and he wound up having two fish on his spear gun at once. There's good news and bad news here. The good news is that the jack that he shot is so big that it's gonna be enough to feed people for days. I mean, this thing must be close to 15 pounds. The bad news is that it's bleeding all over the place in a shark infested area, and if he doesn't get it out of the water fast, big sharks are coming for him immediately. Lucky for Wade, he doesn't back out of a fight, and he reloads his spear gun and continues to search for this cubera. Right when he gets to the bottom, you could tell he has a very calm demeanor, and something he does really well is hold his breath. Wade has an impressive lung capacity. He must be down there for 2 or 3 minutes at this point, when finally another big jack winds up coming across his plate, except this catch wasn't as dramatic because he stoned him on impact. Pretty much what that means is that the spear severed his spine instantly. It just made it so that it was an easy catch. He pretty much just brought it in. This fish is trying to go somewhere, but none of its muscles or bones are actually working. Even though we weren't able to get a cubera, this is a delicious fish, so we're gonna count it.
Bro, you're just hooking into that, aren't you?
Bro, I'm starving over here. Honestly, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna catch a rare fish in you, but I'm glad you got this because we wouldn't be eating anything right now. You like it?
Yeah, I rate that.
I feel like a little bit of flavor would be gas though.
It's almost like Wade read my mind because right after that, he said this.
I've got a little bit of a surprise for you, bro. This right here, guys, is some jack tacos.
Crunchy shell, fresh produce, and loaded with cheese. This meal Wade crafted should hopefully elevate the ranking quite a bit. But before we taste it, Wade has more to say about the fish we've been catching.
Some of the fish, bro, out here in America, I don't know. Cheers.
Cheers, bro.
Let's get it down. Oh,
Oh, good.
adds a little bit of crunch, a little bit of onion. That's the best, bro.
With the added flavors from the taco, we're giving this an S on our tier ranking list. The best one. Up next is a fish that's less than a 10% chance of being caught. As much as we want to get back out there, the sun is setting and it's dangerous to dive without light. So we've got to make new arrangements. All right, guys, we've been diving all day, literally a 12-hour dive day. I am absolutely exhausted right now. The sun is starting to set. If we were to keep diving, it'd be sketchy. As the sun set, the sharks will get a little bit antsy. They start feeding a little bit more. We decided we're going to be done for the day. We're about to post up on this spot. It's a nice little island. What do you think about it?
Pretty sick little spot, like a little mangrove island, few rocks around. Actually a mad little island.
There is not a single piece of human life here, so we're just gonna have to pretty much rough it. We're gonna sleep on the sand, go find a spot right now.
It's probably good that we chilled out. I feel like if we were to keep diving, we would have really gotten wrecked by some sharks. You know what I was pretty impressed with? Your dive time is pretty incredible. I'll give you that.
Been diving my whole life, brother. How long you been diving for?
I mean, seriously, like 2 years.
I'm coming on 20 years, bro.
That's crazy. Were you able to learn anything from me this trip?
I thought it was like actually super impressive, bro, that you were just running that sling. You were hitting small targets, bro. You were using the sling, which was impressive, bro. It's pretty wild to see like how many different like species you can target and like catch in one day.
Even after sharing stories about today's dive and learning from Wade's experience, he still had one thing to make clear. This is a challenge, and we are still competitors.
Bro, it was a good day for you. Stoked you got a few small ones on the sling, but I still smashed you. Some of the animals I've caught overseas in Indonesia, like that spotted moray eel, just doesn't compare to what you caught out here, bro.
Mark my words, there are much more rare fish right here in these waters, and I will not stop diving until I beat you.
With the competition heating up, one thing is certain. I refuse to lose to Wade, but we can't dive into the night, and this island is looking pretty comfortable. So we found a part of the ground that didn't seem so hard and finally went to bed.
Bro, the sun is blazing on my face right now. It's always nice to wake up in the wild, but when the sun rises, so do you. Let's see how Wade's doing. Yo, we gotta wake up. Time to go get some breakfast. Why? Are you sleeping with your knife right next to you?
I'm chilling, bro. You go.
What do you mean you're chilling, bro? Bro, just come get some food with me. Come on.
Nah, bro. Oi.
It's clear Wade is not a morning person, and with the size of that machete, I don't want to make him angry. The good news is I'm prepared to go out alone. There's just one thing I need to do before I go hunting.
We have to do a morning routine. Ow, these little rocks hurt so bad. I'm just going right over here. Got a little portable toothbrush with me. The view doesn't get better as you brush your teeth. This is literally peak human experience. So normally I definitely prefer spear fishing. It's my preferred method of catching fish. But right now it's pretty early. Wade is still asleep. He's way more experienced of a diver than me, so I want to wait until he's in the water before I actually get after it. We're gonna try a different method than we normally do. We're gonna go fishing, specifically trolling.
Trolling is a fishing technique where you slowly pull bait or lures behind a moving boat. The goal is to cover as much water as possible until something decides to bite. If you're lucky, you can catch a massive blue marlin within 10 minutes in the right area. Unfortunately, as we were trolling though, we ran into a huge problem.
What the hell was that? That sounded really bad.
Let's go see what happened.
What's going on?
Got a little bit of trap rope in the pilot right over here.
The trap rope in our engine is more than likely from another fisherman that left it floating in the ocean. And now, it's completely broken down our engine. Either this is gonna ruin our plans, or be a small speed bump on our way to the 0.1% fish.
Is the engine all right?
Yeah, the engine will be fine.
While Dylan and I were dealing with our engine failure, Wade was back on the island finding breakfast.
I slept in, guys. That sun felt way too good. Little coconut down there on the shoreline. Let's go grab that. Man, that's a gift from the gods. Try to make our way down here. All right, we got it. That's gonna be our morning cup of tea. Let's go. Alrighty, guys, I got myself a morning coconut. We're gonna pop this thing open and I'll rip straight into it. Best thing about this, creates a nice little funnel so we can just go straight in. That's bloody beautiful, mate.
After a refreshing sip of coconut, he got to making a fire, fully anticipating that Dylan and I would catch something. Little did he know, we were debating who was gonna break the news to him that we didn't.
We just got back to the island. Now, gotta go break the news to Wade.
I'm not telling Wade anything. Have you seen the size of that machete?
What are you gonna do, bro? You're just gonna wait on the boat?
I'm sit right here. I'm captain.
That's ridiculous, man.
Have fun.
He's so cranky in the mornings, I've noticed. Mr. Wade. So, about the fish.
Where's the fish at?
Bro, we weren't able to catch anything. You literally slept in. I don't want to hear it. Sleeping Beauty over here didn't want to come up, wake up early.
So you're telling me you want to now have some of my fish?
Wade still has leftover fish from yesterday, and I want some. I just hope he's gonna be down to share so I don't go hungry.
Wade, I'm starving. May I please have some of your fish? I'll ask politely.
No, bro.
It took a little convincing, but after enough laughs, Wade finally came around to sharing his breakfast. It's a good thing too, because we were about to hunt the rarest fish you've seen in this video so far.
Here, you want to put that knife to use?
You want a little slap?
Yeah, I'm pretty hungry. Can I have that coconut?
Fresh coconut for you.
Thanks, mate. Damn, bro, I'm not gonna lie. This is a really nice yellow jack. You did really good.
You're welcome. This is how the Maldivians do it. Shout out to them. Fresh bit of fish. And then we grab a little bit of coconut and whack it down together, bro.
Wow, this looks fire, actually. Do they really do this thing?
Yeah.
With our bellies full, it was finally time to make our way towards the 0.1% fish, which is close because there are only 2 ocean animals before we get to it.
We're finally getting to the rarer fish. We're under 10% now, and I think you're gonna be excited about this one. We're going after hammerhead sharks right now. The hammerhead sharks are particularly rare to see. You only have a 7.5% chance of finding them anywhere in the ocean.
To wake up, go straight dive with sharks.
You're telling me you're not afraid of sharks. Are you scared now?
Nah, let's suit up. Let's get in there, eh?
Since hammerheads are protected, we're not going to be able to hunt it. So instead, we have to become best friends with it, specifically by feeding it.
Let's go, brother.
In the water, I knew that this was a super tall order because when people think of sharks, it's usually like the most ferocious thing in the ocean. You don't want to see them, and if you do, you want to swim away from them. But I couldn't have that mindset to accomplish the mission of befriending one. So I was really just on the lookout for anything I could find that would show that there's a shark around. I got to an area in the grass flats, and on the bottom, I see a pretty big shell. And ordinarily, a lot of people would swim past this and not even notice it, but these are actually very delicious. This is a queen conch. The snail inside is huge, and it's actually an aphrodisiac. If you eat one of these, you're gonna be bricked up for days. Unfortunately, here in Florida, they're protected, but but genuinely one of the most delicious things I've ever eaten. I went back to the corally area, and usually I'll see a lot of life here, specifically fish, and with that you'll see lobsters, and on top of lobsters sometimes you'll see some really big sharks just kind of cruising the area. I'm looking in between the little crevices because I'm looking for that size shark that I found in the beginning of the video when I was lobstering. That guy was so cute and harmless, and I felt like he would never hurt me. As I was looking for a tiny shark, I saw something I've genuinely never seen before in my life. I reached my spear in, and I noticed this crab was kind of acting strange. He wasn't really running, he wasn't trying to camouflage from me. I poked him and he was just able to come right out. Usually the crabs here look a lot like king crabs of some sort, but the back of him had a spotted pattern that was very unique. I've been on thousands of dives in Florida and I've never seen one of these. It kind of looks like a cross between a stone crab and a spider crab or a clinging crab. Now that I had a proper look at the guy, I decided to let him go and live out his life in the deep blue sea, and I waved him goodbye, made sure he was in a safe spot so that he wasn't just like out in the open. He is now able to camouflage next to that sea fan, and I got right back to my mission of befriending the shark. Now obviously I've been swimming around for a while and I hadn't seen anything, so I lined up on this yellowtail, took a shot, and it was actually a perfect hit. I hit him right between the eyes, and the reason this is such a good shot is because it doesn't actually mess up any of the meat anywhere on him. I was also pretty stoked because this fish is so delicious and we're kind of stacking up on them at this point. This is like our third one today. They're called yellowtails, and you could tell that they're a yellowtail because the end of their tail is like a bright yellow, and they have that very prominent stripe all throughout the middle of their body. And as always, anytime you shoot a fish, the vibrations will go out, and it actually did wind up attracting a shark. This is a pretty big nurse shark, and I would even bet my bottom dollar that it's pregnant, because if you look towards the bottom of it, it looks like it's a little bit fat, and usually these sharks are pretty lean unless they're pregnant. The only problem is I think we can all agree that she doesn't really look like she wants to be my friend. She's swimming away from me pretty fast. At first I abandoned the thought of befriending it, but then it wound up coming back. It came so close to me that I was able to touch its dorsal fin, but still, I wouldn't say that we're friends. If anything, we're frenemies, and she's just trying to steal the fish that I catch. Dylan, on the other hand, had some better luck because he's using a spear gun, and just like I did a little bit earlier, he winds up spearing a pretty nice yellowtail. This fish starts freaking out, and it's always so interesting. Anytime you spear a fish, it's like a homing beacon for where you are for the sharks. This nurse shark came right to him as if that fish was a dinner bell. Immediately, it just started trying to eat it, but it wasn't necessarily chasing it in a rude manner or was really aggressive. It was really kind of just slyly seeing if he could get the fish. Dylan and this shark were hanging out for the longest time. She's kind of just being a sweet girl, trying to get a little bit of food. Dylan was trying to feed her, but funny enough, the nurse shark's mouths are pretty hard to angle the food into. Overall, I would say that this counts as being friends. Even though it wasn't a hammerhead, it was a shark nonetheless. Since it's a different species, I'm giving it a D on our tier ranking list. And now, onto our 1% fish, a massive stingray. All right, guys, we are finally at the 1% fish. This is the territory where I can crush Wade's hopes and dreams right now. How do you feel?
It's not gonna happen.
Bro has been talking smack all day, saying I'll never see a more rare fish than him. The spotted moray eel, don't get me wrong, super cool, super rare. I'm gonna find a rare one right now. This stingray only has a 1% chance of being seen. The reason, they're entirely camouflaged. They bury in the sand, you could hardly see them, but they're also extremely dangerous. That's actually what killed the homeboy Steve Irwin.
R.I.P. the GOAT right there, the legend.
No, for real, R.I.P. Steve Irwin is the man. Are you afraid knowing that we're going after a similar species that took out one of your species?
You got to get out there. Apparently it's 1%. Go show me how it's done. Good luck, bro.
Thanks, mate.
Right away, I'm thinking to myself, how the heck am I going to do this? So I'm at the top of the ocean, I'm looking down, and I'm not seeing anything that looks like it could even remotely be a stingray, which is a little bit of an issue because it's kind of deep here. Like, if I were to just go down and cover, I don't know, maybe half of a football field underwater, I would come up and not really get anywhere. That's how hard they are to look for, and I can't do that a whole bunch of times before the end of the day. So I had a new strategy. As I was swimming, I wound up finding a crab that was completely dead at the bottom of the ocean. I've never really seen this, and my guess is because it was just so cold that it wound up dying. So what I did was I tore it up. I decided to chum it. Stingrays organically love eating crabs. Like, they really do. And you could see this crab was all like kind of deteriorating, but it still had a lot of the meat inside. It must have been freshly dead. So as I was tearing it up, I was trying to be super intentional with like shaking it and making sure that the insides really spread out. That way the current would bring all those little pieces of crab up and anything upstream would smell it. After that, I kind of just waited in the area. I found a lot of interest in this rock because it had just so much unique life on it. All these minnows feel protected by these different sea fans, and if any big predators come in, it could go into the rock. But the reality of the situation is that I really was just feeling bummed about this stingray. I was like, I didn't think that I was gonna catch it. And then, by the grace of God, right after I gave up, this happened.
This way. Nick.
Let's go! That was awesome. That was fucking killer.
That's how we do it, baby. That was crazy. That was good. Yeah, it got me. Nah, can you imagine?
This is a 50-pound Atlantic stingray. With a barb long enough to pierce a man's heart and a wingspan nearly 4 feet, there's no question why these are the powerhouses of the ocean. With all the chaos from catching it, we were more than ready for a break. So we headed back to camp to see if it tasted as good as it fought.
All right, guys, our 1% fish. We have an Atlantic stingray. These guys are incredibly hard to find, and oh, he's kind of heavy. I just chucked one of his fillets off, and it's time to eat it. A lot of people say that stingray is very closely related to like a scallop, but before we even get into the taste of it, Wade, how's it feel to be a big fat loser?
I reckon I still got a chance a little bit later on.
There is one more fish we have to catch. Well, at least find. This one is critically endangered, and it's only a 0.1% chance of ever seeing them.
I don't even want to kill it if it's that endangered.
It's a sawfish.
Yeah, I don't want to kill it.
No, we can't kill it. We would be in jail by the end of the day.
The thought of seeing a sawfish is so exciting, especially considering they might go extinct in the next year. But before we get to that, we need to see if this stingray is an S or an F on our tier ranking list.
This is what the meat looks like after it's cooked.
Guys, this looks terrible. Look at this. That's a chunk of ash in there, bro. Are you kidding?
I'm gonna just get after it.
Raw stingray. I'm all good.
Come on, man.
I'll get a little side bit that's half cooked. Flavor's not bad.
I have a surprise for you, okay? Here in the US, there's a fast food chain that everyone loves. It's called Chick-fil-A. And I made a Chick-fil-A stingray sandwich.
White bread, fresh produce, and tons of Chick-fil-A sauce. This stingray sandwich might be on the secret menu by this time next week if it hits.
Bro, what the hell is that?
This is America.
All right, go, rip in. I'm not eating that, bro. Look at that. Literally a dog's breakfast.
You put enough Chick-fil-A sauce on anything that's good.
And now for the 0.1% fish. I'll be honest, as hard as we tried, we were never able to find the elusive sawfish. One thing is for sure though, I caught a more rare fish than Wade has ever seen in his entire life. And that's all that matters. Your move, Wade.